Hello, Blizzard fans! This is FalconPaladin coming to you with yet another daily Blizzard upload. This is a game between VampyWorm and Ignis on Orbital Shipyard. This is a very standard map, and in the bottom left of Orbital Shipyard, we have the red Protoss player. It is VampyWorm, representing Team Ascension. And in the top right of Orbital Shipyard, we have the blue Zerg player. It is Ignis. I think that's a boss in World of Warcraft, right? There's a Ignis the Furnace Maker or something like that in Old War. I remember raiding some giant that had like lava coming out of his arms and eyeballs and stuff, and I'm pretty sure that was Ignis. Anyway, so representing fire, we have Ignis the Zerg player. So PvZ on this map, usually fairly standard stuff. What we've seen this come down to in the past is pretty much disruptor hits. I mean, in the current patch of Legacy of the Void, it's been, can you get disruptor hits off? They've been nerfed quite a bit, so they don't last as long as they used to. They're not as quick as they used to be. That Purification Nova can be dodged, can be split against if you play it well as the Zerg player. But if you don't play it well, disruptor can get like 167 kills on your Roach Hydra army, and then you're in super big trouble. So taking that early expansion here is Ignis, not choosing to go for the safer one back here, but again, I understand the reasoning for doing this. Kind of easier to handle harassment at both these bases than running back and forth from here to here. Just a little bit more natural to put your army at the bottom of this ramp and deal with threats as they come. As I sneeze there, I'm just about over the sickness that I have. I feel a lot better than I have for the last couple weeks. I don't know what it was, but some kind of weird coughing, congestion type thing. I don't know what it was, but alright, back to the game. It looks like our Zerg player is pretty busy getting that expansion, getting workers, getting gas, getting a spawning pool. There's the Cyber Core coming up. For VampyWorm, probably going to see an Adept opening, because that is something that all Protoss players love to do, especially against Zerg. So great against Zerglings, and they can even hold their own against Roaches. So Protoss players don't think Adepts only have use against Lings or Workers. They do pretty darn well against Roaches at the same time. Enough gas for speed. Not quite yet. Going to save up for that. Meanwhile, VampyWorm is taking a base back here. The much safer but kind of more awkward to defend base, I suppose. I don't know how that works. Cybercore going to finish here. We are using the Chrono Boost on the Nexus because that makes a ton of sense. Worker count is at 22 to 20, so Protoss can have that early lead at this point. And the other different thing in this particular... no, don't send all those drones off. Get those back to work. There we go. You're not going to kill that guy. Is that the Queens still auto-inject in the latest patch, but they only give the Zerg player... Or now they give the Zerg player 3... Are we going to kill this? Yeah, actually 3 larvae per injection. 3 extra larvae instead of 2. So the auto-inject is there. This pylon got thrown down for no reason. I really don't think Ignis was planning on taking a base back here at all, but whatever. Free pylon, no big deal. So the auto-inject is still there, which has made some Protoss players rage. You may have seen on my channel recently. But again, it's still not the macro production available when you are manually injecting in Heart of the Swarm or the earlier patches of Legacy of the Void. It's just Zerg can't get these giant swells of units out like they used to. I mean, they do their best with the auto-injects, but even then, it's kind of a little bit gimped, I would have to say. It kind of requires some better micro on the Zerg players' end of things. They really can't just throw huge waves of units at the opponent and hope it works. That's kind of been my strategy, I'm not going to lie. It doesn't work all the time, but when it does, it's fun. Ling's checking out. Is there a third base? No, there's really not. We definitely know there's a second base. And I don't know if he's actually scouted here yet, but the Lings might... Nope, they're going to go around. They're not going to try to break down this debris. It will take forever and a day anyway. Third base now coming up for Ignis. Very well played indeed. And there is a Roach Warren and a Robo Facility being produced for VampyWorm. Or VampyWorm? VampyWorm. That's what it is. I did a W word and then it kind of bled over. Alright, so Overlord Scout coming in, seeing exactly what is going on from VampyWorm. We'll see the gateways, we'll see the cybernetics core, and see the double adept here, but the cyber robotics facility is back here, a little bit hidden. I think if the Overlord went for it, he could probably find it. Might as well scout suicide it up. A couple Lings try to get up here, but they take shots, one of them dies, 2 do manage to escape with their lives. Another Ling scouting things out says, okay, there's not a base here. That's good for me. It's 3 base, 2 base. Officially, my third base has now popped. Feeling pretty comfortable right now. It is 39 to 32 harvesters, and now it's time for the lair. And I think we're just going to go Roach Hydra at this point. I don't see any indication we're going to see a Spire, although that's pretty effective as well. One thing that Protoss players have seen is just a huge swell of Mutalisks, a lot earlier than Protoss expect them with the extra macro here and the starting with more workers. It kind of gets the snowball rolling faster for Zerg. And you get mutas out a lot faster at timings you don't expect. So that can kind of throw Protoss players off kilter. But I don't think that's what we're doing here. I think the Roach Warren maybe Haven't actually made any roaches. Again, you don't need to until you see an army coming out to kill you. Like, for example, these lings might be able to see this. I don't know if they saw it or not, though. Just at the edge of their vision. But here comes a pretty good big attack. Oh, with a warp prism as well. VampyWorm planning on warping in reinforcements at the front door using that warp prism. And yeah, the lings are coming home. What's in production? 5 roaches in production. The lair just about to finish. What's going to go happen with Ignis when that does is going to be the question. And drones transferring down. Where are they going? They just want to die. Drones, what is happening? Drones! Drones, no! Ooh. One of the drones does manage to escape somehow. A couple of roaches here. 5 roaches. Getting a concave, but once again, adepts hold their own. One of the adepts does die, but the roaches are all very low on health. Trying to move the wounded one back. Force fielding. Not allowing any more retreating there. And look at this. Again, the adepts on their own, but now the stalkers come in. That's the real big trouble as you see the roaches start to fall with the introduction of the stalkers to this battle. And here we come, 14 roaches in production, though. That's a lot of roaches. As long as they don't come in piecemeal, that's going to be a problem. If we force field off this ramp for Vampy, I think that would be it for the Zerg player. But no, here we come. Queens, roaches, trying to get a surround here. Not microing very well. There we go. Kind of getting stuck on this ramp. Slowly taking down the stalkers. Getting rid of that sentry as well. The adepts taking hits at the same time. And it's time to pack up and go home. The warp prism heads home. The rest of the units try to retreat on home. The roaches do not have speed, so I think the adepts are a little bit faster than they are. We are getting glial reconstitution, but it's not quite finished yet. Now we have Hydra, so it is the Roach Hydra. Third base now coming up. Immortals on the way for VampyWorm at the same time. And a 4th base popping up for Ignis as well. So now we have speed on these lings. They're going to chase down these adepts and try to kill them. Could probably use Psionic Transfer to live, but nope. One of them ends up dead. A big swell. Getting a surround on this Immortal would be really nice. Can we get it? Yes, getting a full surround on everything. The roaches in here at the same time. Photon Overcharge being used on the pylon. And that's enough to make Ignis go back home. Says, you know what? I don't want to throw these units away. I'm going to use them to defend against an attack that is sure to come from the Protoss player very soon. Hydras and more Hydras. I don't see a Lurker Den quite yet. Blink is being researched by VampyWorm. So 3 base to 4 base, pretty even right now. This is some excellent play, excellent GM level play coming here from the Protoss and the Zerg players. Again, thanks to VampyWorm for sending this in. He does send me both wins and losses. So I really don't know who's going to win this particular match. This Zerg looks very, very good at this point. So Roach, Hydra, what are the upgrades at? Alright, just as I say that, he's not really upgrading, which is a problem. Warp Prism drop at the 3rd base, and the adepts are going to town on these drones. 3 of them. A few workers die. How many total there? 5 have lost, maybe 2. The Queen is here now. We pick up. And we back out. Their army has responded. Time to go over here, but Ignis is ready for that. Oh, the Hydras might get a pick off. And are they going to get it? Oh, if the Warp Prism doesn't run away right now, one more shot on that Warp Prism and we're going to kill it. Can we pick it up? No! Warp Prism survives with 8 hit points. Going to come down here and start killing workers now. Oh no, there's nothing to defend that for Ignis. Are we going to stop, or is it too dangerous to stop? That's going to be the question. VampyWorm does stop. Does drop the adept. The lings come in to distract from killing the workers, pulling a full contingent of all these drones. Get out of there. The Queen really wants this Warp Prism. Gets a couple shots off, but nope. Does manage to escape very quickly. So that kept the Zerg player in the base. We still haven't resaturated this base. This base is resaturated. But we have 9 workers on this gas. We need to fix that immediately. Ignis, there we go, down to 3. He did fix it very, very quickly. Production tab is actually empty for Ignis right now. I don't know if he's just distracted by that harassment or what, but look at VampyWorm getting a robotics bay, getting another robotics facility, getting more adepts, getting +3 attack. Nope, +2 for ground weapons. Oh, waits till the army leaves and then comes back in with the adepts to try to kill things and actually warp in more units, warping in zealots. Again, the army is forced to retreat to deal with this. Excellent harassment here by VampyWorm. And yep, the zealots do get cleaned up. And can we get the Warp Prism is the question. Yes. Does get that as well. So maybe not as clean an attack for VampyWorm as he would like, but still 12 drones have died. 2 of them were suicide drones that died like right here because they were transferring over to this base, I think, but ran right past the Protoss army and died. So all right, VampyWorm is up, actually down 152 to 125 total supply. Zerg has 183 drones to 66 probes. This is looking pretty intimidating right now, but actually we're going Colossus. VampyWorm is going Colossus, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what this is. I didn't see any Colossus for the first, like, 3 months of the beta or longer, but lately I've been seeing Colossus. I don't know what it is. Can we snipe down this gateway? And, yep, that gateway is going to die. Are we going to take care of the pylon as well with the Photon Overcharge? Yep, gets focused down. It explodes at the same time. Another gateway dies. Production facilities dying for you is never good. as Protoss. But there are 3 Immortals in here. That is nice. Ooh, taking it on Assimilator. Getting rid of that gas production for Protoss as well. Very, very nice. Taking down another pylon. We do end up not getting it, not focusing it down. And this entire army is getting cleaned up here. 2 Colossus, 3 Immortals. Corrosive Bile getting thrown down, but the full retreat by Ignis. He has to be pretty happy with that, though. I think he got 3 gateways maybe and an assimilator, which has not been replaced yet by VampyWorm. Ignis remacroing up quickly. Look at that. From 100 to 157 supply. Just like that with roaches and hydras. Now getting the upgrades. Ground Carapace level 1. Melee attack and missile attack level 1 at the same time. And there's a Lurker Den and a Spire and a Hive. So Ignis is not messing around here at the 10-minute mark. He has the drone count that he wants. He has 80 drones. He's making Roach Hydra. He's going to make it work. He's incorporating some lurkers at the same time. But this is a pretty substantial army for VampyWorm with the Stalkers and no Disruptors. Surprisingly, this is kind of old school with a couple of Adepts mixed in. The Colossus Deathball wants to take out this 4th base if they can. The Roaches and Hydra is going to try to get a concave. Are they going to be able to get it? They're going to chase this down. VampyWorm doesn't like the turns of the engagement. He is a full retreat now, trying to get out of there. This speed is available for the Roaches and the Hydralisks. These guys are trying to get out of there as fast as we can. Can we get another Immortal? Yes, Ignis gets another Immortal there. The Lings are chasing VampyWorm in full retreat. He does not want to stop and fight this by any means necessary. Cliff walking by the Colossus to help them escape. Another couple probes die. Everybody that comes up the ramp ends up dead, of course, but Ignis, again, doesn't really want to go up that ramp. Maybe check for a 3rd base and try to kill that. He does have an Overlord scouting. I'm not sure if he knows about the 3rd, though. Trying to take down this debris again. Greater Spire, Ultralisk Cavern. Ignis is getting everything right now. Colossus coming up as well, getting that Adrenal Glands, getting Chitinous Plating, getting attacks level 1 for the melee. So we're going to go Broodlord and Ultra here. Is that the plan? Ignis is kind of maxed out right now on Roach Hydra. I think he needs to lose this army. Maybe trying to kill the 3rd base. You got to scout this 3rd base, though. He's been playing this really, really well. But VampyWorm, if he gets this 4th base, just kidding, 4th base up and running, it could spell danger for our Zerg player. But it is 195 to 142 supply. These units are doing nothing right now. He needs to get out there. There are 3 Hydras in production and a Viper. So maybe 3 Ultras, rather. Ultras in production and a Viper. 3 Ultras added to this army might be enough to make it a little bit more potent against the composition that Vampy is running. A few Corruptors at the same time coming on in. A Baneling Nest being created, continuing with the Immortal and the Colossus production, plus 3 ground weapons. On the way for VampyWorm, we are matched up for a pretty epic confrontation when this actually happens. Have the Ultras popped is the question, and I think they have. Where are they, though, is the question. There they are, moving right down to meet up with this army. Yep, the 4th base is under attack. The Lings getting a full surround, getting all of these probes. This base is going to die. I don't think the army can respond in time for VampyWorm. So much DPS going down, and that's it. Gets the 4th base. Do we want to attack here? Yes, Ignis decides it's going to happen. The Ultra coming in. Good stutter step, moving backward, and that's it. Ignis says, oh, that's enough fighting. We're going to back out. We do not want to engage directly there. That would be completely suicide. And look at these Colossus, man. This Colossus count, this is the most Colossus I've seen in a game for a while. So 14 damage, range of 9. Pretty darn good. I think maybe more Corruptor production. Baneling speed, Centrifugal Hooks is on the way. Plus 2 missile attack as well as plus 2 Carapace on the way. Ignis is getting all of the upgrades. He has the money for it. I mean, he's expanding like a madman right now. Getting the gas at this base because that's really what he needs right now. Might expand here as well. We are scouting here with Overlords. Going to try to replant this base. There is a Changeling. Oh, probe takes that down. Look at that. Half gross, half like melted zealot. Anyway, might come back and try to kill this base. This engagement could be the big one here. Are we actually going to take advantage of the fact the army's out of position? Trying to do it, but the army comes back to defend the 3rd. VampyWorm being very aware right now. That pylon's going to die, but I don't think it really matters in the grand scheme of things. Trying to come up, take out another gateway. Yes, going after another pylon. No. Going to retreat. Ignis does not like the angle there. And Vampy lets him go. I think maybe a big attack here with a Ling run by right here would be super devastating to Vampy, but it seems like Ignis is kind of stuck in deathball mode here. It's a pretty interesting composition. The Vipers, if the Vipers can yank these Colossus, I think that might be enough to turn the tide here. We'll have to see how it goes. 6 more Corruptors here, though. Are we going to get that yank? And the Vipers are throwing on Blinding Cloud on everything. Okay, that works pretty well. Ooh, are we going to continue to push on in? Nope, just dodging around the Blinding Cloud. The army is still here. I think maybe an Abduct would have been better there. Look at all of the Zerg units melting along that front. Ultra is dying. One Ultra stuck at the back, wants to get in there, but That is not going to happen anytime soon. It is 197 139 supply. Remacroing again with 10 Ultralisks is Ignis. He loves his Ultras. Sucking down energy for these Vipers. I really think Abduct would have been better there. Like, abducting out the 4 Colossus and just dealing with the rest of it as necessary, I think was the better choice. A lot of Archons coming in with that +3 attack is really good against Zerg. 10 Ultras in production, not quite there yet. Zerg Ground Carapace level 2 on the way, just about to complete, as well as melee attacks. Indeed, +3 starting immediately. Ignis on top of those upgrades. Warp Prism coming up, and what is that? Protoss Ground Armor level 2, so a little bit late on that for Vampy, but really been focusing on the tech, and really been focusing on the upgrades for the attack as well. So small group coming down here to check things out, see what's going on. Again, this is entirely undefended. I feel like swinging some Lings in here could really be beneficial for Ignis, but he's really just kind of hanging out. I don't think he wants to attack unless it's a full engagement. These Ultras are pretty good. They have 7 armor and 2 attack. Are we going to go for it? The Ultras are going for it right on top of everything. The Archons try to do what they can, but they're melting almost immediately. The Archons from the right side, though, come in and do manage to take out a couple of the Ultralisks. They're forcing a full retreat from Ignis, taking out Creep Tumors as well. Does VampyWorm want to go for it is the question. Creep Tumors getting destroyed everywhere at this point. Abduct. And a little bit, I don't know, that was a weird Abduct. So Abduct, but at the same time, the army is still here. The Archons killing what they can. Archon splash damage being negated as well. Blinding Cloud on all these Immortals. The Ultras end up all dead at the same time. All of the Colossus are dead, but we still have a pretty big Stalker Immortal army here trying to take out that Warp Prism, but no. Not going to happen. Ignis reproducing additional Ultralisks. I don't know if this is the composition you want against this here, but here we come. We have some Spine Crawlers trying to deal with this attack, but they're going to die very, very quickly. The Viper ends up dead as well. The Ultras are not quite here yet. Dark Templar being morphed in. More and more Archons. A big swell of Speedlings, though, on top of all of these Stalkers and these Immortals. That's a good choice, but there are just not enough of them. They end up blood spatters on the creep as well. The Immortals are taking out everything. Ultras pop, immediately die. Trying to get Creep Tumors or Spine Crawlers built here at the top of the ramp. Ultras again trying to do what they can. An Archon does go down. Another Immortal dies, but they're kind of stuck in a choke and taking huge amounts of damage from these +3 units of VampyWorm. Nothing else happening. No counterattacks whatsoever. Ignis is down to 96 supply. None of these Spine Crawlers are going to pop. They all end up dead as well. VampyWorm coming on in. Ultralisk Cavern dies. 3 Mutalisks in production for Ignis. I don't think that's going to help at all with the number of Archons and Stalkers on the field. That's it. I think we're minutes from a GG from Ignis, if not seconds. He's still trying to make this happen, though. Transferring drones, bringing in Lings who die almost immediately. Archons actually taking some hits here from these Spine Crawlers, but man, that +3 is really good. One of the Spines ends up dead. This Archon down to 33 shields, but going to take out this Evolution Chamber all by its lonesome. The rest of the army comes in. This is where you want to take out the production structures of the Zerg player. Forcing cancels left and right. Is that Archon going to die to these Broodlings? Nope, stays alive. 28 kills on that Archon. 7 kills, 18 kills. And we're also 29 kills, 11 kills, 16 kills. Just so cost effective. Mutas come in, but once again, Archons do really well against Mutas, especially if they only have +1/+1 upgrades. Another base going to fall. These bases are still mining for Ignis. I mean, he's technically still alive, but I just don't know. It's 158 to 99 total supply. The Archon army with the Immortals and the Stalkers taking out everything. The Spire is going to die. The Lurker Den is going to die as well. All the Extractors are completed. We're down to 53 Harvesters for Ignis. What's he trying to do? Mutalisks are flying around trying to get some harassment out. They might actually take out the workers here if they can get their act together. Trying to kill these Zealots before they take care of the remaining drones in his army. And alright, so Ignis does have a pretty big Mutaball right now. Maybe something of a base trade could be arranged. If he goes for this base, there are, okay, there are Stalkers. There are Dark Templar warping in for some reason. Single Muta comes in, does get killed. But here comes the Mutaflock. Are there enough to take out these Stalkers? I think there are. They're forced to retreat. They stand and fight and pretty much get melted here. What's left? 1 Stalker's left. Going after these workers is pretty good as well, and indeed going to take these out. There's a single Archon. Can he handle this number of Mutas? I don't really know, but he's losing all these probes as well. He doesn't quite want to engage. Maybe find a good angle to do so, but there have been 54 drones lost, 29 probes have lost, additional bases dead. This base completely dead for VampyWorm. He isn't quite sure where to go next to find the remaining mining bases from Ignis. Boom! This base explodes. Is there anything left for VampyWorm, he's kind of down to this mining base here, and that's it. At this point, taking down pylons, trying to supply block the Protoss player. Might be able to do it if he can find enough of them. But here comes the train, the big Archon, Zealot, Stalker. Is there any Adepts in here? Nope. That's pretty much it. This base going to die. The drones do evacuate, though. They get out of there in time. I think evacuating to this side of the base, possibly up here. 32 Lings are in production. So 32 Lings, and how many mutas do we have? 18 mutas might be enough to clean this up. I just don't know. It does not look good. The mutas fly in again, trying to take out assimilators, trying to get rid of these Archons, but every slash from those Archons does 47 damage of splash damage to the mutas. The mutas only have 120 hit points altogether. The Lings are trying to gather together with the mutas here. Maybe go for that base trade. I don't think they can deal with this army directly, but maybe if they kill all the buildings. There's an observer here checking things out, but here we come. We're going for it. Ling muta against Archon. Never really worked for anybody, but one of the Archons does die. Lings need to get out of there. Oh, Ling's coming up into the main. Getting rid of the Cyber Core is the choice here for Ignis. Are we going to get it before the Archons show up? Maybe a couple more slashes here. All the Lings are dead. Unfortunately, 6 Lings in production. Cyber Core does die. Pretty good micro. This base now under fire from VampyWorm. The Baneling Nest going down. Spine Crawlers taking hits as well. The mutas are just being annoying right now. I don't know if they can win it, but they're sure making a go of it. Dark Templar on the way. VampyWorm are really trying to make this Dark Templar play work. Trying to snipe down additional workers. The income right now is not so great for either player. It's about 300 minerals, maybe 200 gas for the Protoss. And VampyWorm looking okay. This base is still alive. I don't know. I think maybe Vampy feels like he needs Blink Stalkers to effectively deal with this composition of the Mutalisks. A Forge ends up dead. Taking out this robotics facility is probably a good choice as well. And indeed, we are not really microing though as Ignis. I'm not sure. The Blink comes on in, takes out a few of the Stalkers. They try to deal with the Blink, but there is nothing going to happen there. And they retreat. Ignis is down to a total of 13 Mutalisks, a Queen, and 10 drones. I don't think he's going to be able to do it, ladies and gentlemen, but he put forth a valiant effort. Building a Nexus over here, or a hatchery over here even, just trying to prolong the game. VampyWorm might be a little bit too afraid to take another base, but I don't know. He has the army advantage, that's for sure. This number of mutas is regenerating quickly, but anytime they stand and fight against Stalkers or stand and fight against those Archons, they are going to die. But they really aren't going to die to Zealots because Zealots can't shoot up. So they're going to stand and fight against these Lings and take fire from on high from these Mutalisks. All of them die, but a single one. That guy's still alive with 3 kills and 20 hit points to his name. The mutas then come on down and say, all right, you want a base trade? Let's base trade. This base finally getting finished off by VampyWorm. All these drones are not even trying to run. They're getting mown down by the Archons. This mass Archon play, 5 kills there, 7 kills there, 32 kills there, 6 kills there. The mutas come in once more, taking out an Artosis pylon, depowering a bunch of gateways. I don't know how much that matters in the grand scheme of things to VampyWorm, but a little bit annoying. Nonetheless, nothing in production for Vampy. I don't know why he's not taking another base. I mean, I guess he can't really protect his main base and an additional base at the same time. Seems a little bit difficult. The mutas just being annoying once again. Ooh, free probes. That's pretty nice. Taking down this Nexus. There's really nothing happening here. But blinks in, takes out a couple of the Mutalisks. There are now 11 to Ignis's name. He has no mining going on whatsoever. This base is super duper hidden. There's really no reason, but that's it. Ignis calls the GG, is defeated, and VampyWorm is victorious. So, pretty high-level game there. Ignis kind of dragged it on a little bit longer than I would have liked to see, but at the same time, thanks again for submitting that into FalconPaladin. I hope my viewers all enjoyed it, and if you did, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe if you did, to catch daily Legacy of the Void casts. So this has been FalconPaladin with yet another Daily Blizzard upload. You can catch me on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook, all at /FalconPaladin. And until next time, as always, you take care of yourself.